Let's talk about Obi-Wan for a little bit. So I'm gonna talk about a lot of things in this video. If it's longer than my Superman video, it's saying something. Um, we're gonna break this up in parts. Okay. First part is um the show as a whole. I thought it was okay, nothing to write home about. There's some issues with it, the writing and some of the pacing, and also the special effects and the CGI. Um, so my rating for the show as of right now is a 6, like a high 6, like a 6.9. That's being generous. Okay, so we're gonna talk about three, or actually four. Layla, Princess Layla, Reva, Obi-Wan, and Vader. Let's talk with let's start with Princess Layla. The her character was annoying. Now you probably say, well, she was a strong female character in the first movie. Yeah, but as a damn kid, she didn't need to be this annoying. She should have just been, you know, getting into that feel like again. So you're telling me when she was that age, she was still like that when she got older? No, that takes time, and this if they it would have been smart from this experience she had with Obi-Wan makes her grow as a character, not really show her as how to be a strong, not a strong female lead, but just a strong person in general. Didn't do that. So her character was very bearing, and then there's times where she got caught and got Obi-Wan caught, making Obi-Wan look like a fool too. So there's a lot of things I really didn't like about that. It was just unnecessary. I guess because uh, every show needs a kid. I mean, it worked for Baby Yoda, and I got it's just weird shit. So, knowing nuisance, Luke would have been better, but fine, it's whatever. Moving on. Um, we'll get to Reva later because I got some stuff to say about her. Vader. I thought his presentation in here was very not menacing compared to his presentation in Rogue One was. I thought at times he was very there was some Darth Vader there, but not like too dark. It was like very like they held it back a little bit. They didn't want to go too far with some of the stuff. Other times they did let it go. Like he comes in and starts like choking people, and Vader was on a mission. He wanted revenge for what he did for Obi-Wan with what he did. Um, the lightsaber battles between him and Obi-Wan. We'll just talk about those two in general right now. Were not good. What was it, a couple years ago? Star Wars Fix It. They did us like a scene in New Hope, and they just reimagined that scene. Fan made 10 times better than what the fuck Disney did. $1 billion company couldn't outdo what a fan film did. I'm like, yo, that's just fucking ridiculous. That is ridiculous. And people are actually going back and rewatching those videos saying because they said the fight lightsaber battle between those two were not good. Um, it, I feel, I feel they should have saved Vader for later. And what I mean by that is they should have saved Vader for like later episodes because it would have been better. Because we already had a fight scene between them. He should have been taking on the Grand Inquisitor, and the Grand Inquisitor should have been if it was Reva or one of them, it should have been like I took on Obi-Wan and he's not a threat. And then Vader's like, "You took on who?" And then Vader would have came and be like, and then that would have been better, like a build up to Vader, you know, and it would have been better because Vader would have like crossed universe just to get Obi-Wan again. It would have made more sense. Because I think him coming in a little early kind of kind of killed the mystique of the show a little bit because we already knew these two were going to cross paths eventually. Just save it, and plus it would have made more sense to the film wise, have it connected. But Star Wars just they don't care about their own continuity and lore, so it is what it is. Obi-Wan, I did not like Obi-Wan in here because Obi-Wan felt like not the character I saw in the prequels or the Clone Wars or even the original films. Did he lose hope? Yeah, he lost hope after what happened to Anakin, but I don't think he should have lost that much hope to the point where he got his way, he became a coward. I don't think that was necessary. It would have been cool if he couldn't use the Force no more because he just lost hope, but he still had the drive to be that Obi-Wan we know and love. Like that's what it should have been. But I just again like he was getting like caught and doing stupid shit. It was I know the creator of the show said, "Oh yeah, this is like Logan or something like." Fucking Logan. Logan was old, decrepit. He was to the point where he couldn't do it no more. He was dying from a mutation, a mutant mutation that was killing all the mutants. His body was deteriorating, but he was still whooping ass. He tried to avoid confrontation because he just didn't want to fight no more because he couldn't fight no more. Obi-Wan just gave up. Logan just he didn't give up. He just couldn't. His body couldn't take that no more because the virus killed him. Like I swear, these people don't really understand characters well. But I don't know. I, and you see how passionate I was about Logan. I've seen that film multiple times, and I've seen how that character was presented. Whatever. So moving on from that, let's get into Reva. This whole racist thing about Reva, this and that. The reason I've seen both sides, and there's some that were, and there's others that called out Disney because they knew what they were doing, and boy did they do exactly what these motherfuckers said they were going to do. Reva was getting a redemption arc and she felt bad. She was one of the younglings and she'll get her redemption and all. And that's exactly what they called it out. They wasn't racist. But her acting was not good. She was not good. I didn't really care for her character. I thought her character was pretty bland and generic. And again, it's not her fault. It's sometimes it's the material they have. I said that before. Superman and Lois is the material. Um, but she was not good. Um, The problem also with the show is it didn't feel like an Obi-Wan show. It felt like a Reva show. And that's kind of why I saved her for last because that's the biggest problem. I'm not here for Reva. I'm not here for Princess Leia. I'm here for Obi-Wan and a little of Darth Vader. I don't give a fuck about none of those two. Not because they're a woman. It's not. It's because I want to see Obi-Wan. Ian McGregor was the best part of those prequels. So people wanted to see Ian McGregor become the same character he was in the motherfucking prequels. That's all. But they didn't do that. They had to add this, they had to add that, you know. And then the way Reva wanted revenge on Darth Vader. So she worked her way up as an Inquisitor so she could get her one-time strike. With all these damn stormtroopers around, with all, like, it just, oh my God. And plus, she'd have killed other Jedi just to get to where she was. It's the way her character was written was poorly. It was done poorly. Honestly, she was just better off to be a villain. Like, because honestly, when I saw, what was that, Star Wars, the Jedi Knight, or that last one they did, the last video game they did with Star Wars, where they had the Inquisitor too, and Vader killed her. I thought they were kind of mirroring that. Hell, I would have been fine if they're mirroring that because that's actually a good, interesting storyline they did in that video game. No, they wanted to do their own shit, and this honestly was not good. This was like, for me, this was pretty bland. This was like a bland, generic character, and it's just her motivation was not good. Then she tried to kill Luke. Spoiler alert. And she realized that she's no different from Vader. Now you realize it, but what about all these other motherfuckers you done killed to get to that point? Like it just, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. And which we already knew she wasn't gonna kill Vader because I mean kill Luke because Luke kills Vader. So it's the biggest problem with the show is a lot of characterizations, writing, dialogue, and story could have been done better. Rio could have been done a hell of an interesting killer. Just make her a villain. Just make it a villain of the story. I'd rather her be the villain of the story, and then she gets to Vader, and then Vader gets to Vader, and then it's her versus Obi-Wan throughout the whole series, and Obi-Wan train is actually gets his will back to fight by taking on her, and then Vader comes in, and Vader tells her, he said, I got her. Vader's like, settle down, I have it. But then she attacks Vader, and Vader kills her for being disobedient. It's like, I'm the only one who kills Obi-Wan is me. So that's kind of it's like she should have just been a villain in the story, honestly, because and they should have set up the big bad like. And they also brought back the Grand Inquisitor too. He never died, so it's like people die in here, they come back like the goddamn Dragon Balls around this motherfucker. It's ridiculous. In a way, I really wish they would have just let her run this thing herself. She's a Inquisitor looking for that, and then she's like, you left me to die while he came to slaughter us. And she's talking about Anakin, and that haunts him too. Like there's ways they could have played upon that, and Vader senses this, and he takes one of the Grand Inquisitors with him, and it's the Grand Inquisitor and Vader challenging Obi-Wan and Reva in their final showdown. There you go. Well, Reva challenges the Inquisitor, but we all know what happened to the Inquisitor. If you watch Rebels, she dies, or she gets away, vice versa. You could even bring. There's a lot of things they could have done. Hell, I would have brought in Rex from the Clone Wars. There's stuff they could have done. But if you know the lore, you know the material, you know the characters, you can easily fit this in to the lore, and you can fit this to have a still tight, good story. In a way, Reva is actually helping him and hurting him, Obi-Wan, to come back to what his old Jedi Knight he used to be before Vader gets there. And like I said, Vader should have came in later. It should have been Obi-Wan on the run from this girl. But Vader doesn't know he's alive. However, Vader senses it, and then he calls one of his Inquisitors. And then he's like, where is this one at? And he's like, I don't know. And he's like, find this one, because he's like, there's something going on. They find her, it's like, we've found her, he can sense Obi-Wan. But she wants to kill Obi-Wan because she fears, well, kill Obi-Wan for revenge for leaving her on that. Granted, we all know on that, so she decides to kill all Jedi because back then Anakin kills all the younglings, but she doesn't know that Anakin is Darth Vader. That's the thing. But she knows eventually. Then she starts to tell because Obi-Wan tells her, and then that's the whole big fight towards the end. That's it. No scrolls. None of this. She reads this shit. None of this. She reads to tell her the damn what's that the Sith holograph or whatever. I don't know. Like I said, I know a little bit, not that much. None of this extra shit. Just storytelling. Interesting character. That's it. That's all you needed. And at the end of the day, those two work together. And at the end of the day, they both get away. Or you could kill Reva. One of the two. She still would be an interesting badass character. She should have just been a villain. Just whipping and whopping floor. Like, she's going back. That's not good character. That's because you have another writer that's not talking to this writer, telling this writer, just keep it on this path. And that's what it is. It's acidine writing, acidine creatively not following a map. And that's what we got here. Um, and that's all I have to say. Like I said, I had a lot to say about Reva, and because the character was interesting. Because I looked at it as we can do this, we can do that, but they did this, which is very typical. But they did it so so bad that it made no sense. Like when they do it with other characters I've seen in other films, they have a map and it makes sense, but it's pretty predictable. They did it in this shit. It was not only predictable, but it was bad. It was like, how come she can do this? And it's a lot. You know, she finds a lot. She like it's like she has Sith Lord powers at times, but there was not enough rage for me to see that. Where if I gave her my story of she decides to kill all Jedi because of what happened years ago with Anakin, so she decides to focus on Obi-Wan because she knows Obi-Wan was Anakin's apprentice, but she doesn't know. And also, Obi-Wan doesn't know that Anakin is still alive as well either until he starts his, because he lost his force powers. Throughout the series, he's getting his powers back and he's starting to feel the force. And he's starting to realize, wait a minute, you're Anakin. And then they put two together, and then when Reva's there, he tells her, and then they start fighting. Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader. There you go. It's not hard. It's like rock. I just thought of that myself less than 5 seconds or 5 minutes. How? Because I've seen Rebels, I've seen the original prequels, and I see some Clone Wars. Easy stuff. But these people who run this stuff, they don't. But anyway, let me stop talking. I just said my piece on. I'm already going 16 minutes with this video. So as always, guys, like, subscribe. Peace. Have a Johnson day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.